This is old Mr. Kent again, and today in lesson 2 we're going to learn about octaves and notes and chords, and we'll go over a little bit of the exercise that I gave you last in the introduction here. So anyway, I don't like to waste people's time, so let's go ahead and we're going to go straight to, I'm going to move the camera and we'll get straight to recording the first part of your first real lesson, and let's get started on that. All right, we're going to talk about octaves. Now, octave, the word octave has to do with the number 8. Like October, before they redid the calendar, October used to be the 8th month. November, which is, these are Latin words, novum was 9, and deca, that's 10, and that's December. So that's where they get the word octave, because we're talking about 8 keys. Now, the most common, oh, I know, just a second here. All right, I've got my my G-string guitar tuner all set up here. And this note right here, okay, that's middle A, they call it, middle A. And you'll notice on my tuner, let's just do this, put it to there. Okay, now then. All right, now that's 440 hertz, okay? And so that means it vibrates 440 times every second, all right? That's what they call middle A. And it's important because it's the reason it's got the letter A is because it's important to tuning pianos. Now we'll go up here to the next one. What is 440 times 2? It should be 880. You'll notice that my piano is just a little bit off, but it's 879. Depends on I'll shut up and let it do itself here. Okay, so that's 882. That's twice as much as 440. And if I go down here to, let me see, that's going to be about there, I think. That, you notice that's 220. That's half as much as 440, and that's half as much as 880. Okay, so now we can get rid of this guy. We don't really need him for the rest. As long as you understand that from this octave to this octave is twice as many frequencies, cycles per second. And that's so what our music system is based on octaves. And so we got, you know, and if we go up like this, we've doubled the cycles per second, or the hertz, all right? So that's what an octave is. And somewhere hundreds of years ago, literally it was several hundred years ago, that they came up with this. And what they did was they divided this octave into 8 parts. So a B is a little higher. Let's just take a look at that for fun. Here, I'll put this up here again. All right. So here's A, 220. B is 247 or 246. And here we are on E. So anyway, they divided it up evenly. And so that's how we get our octave and the 8 notes in between. Now, the one thing that always I question is, why is that there? Well, why do they call it middle A, and why does it have the letter A instead of some other letter? Well, that's kind of halfway between that end of the piano and that end of the piano, and it's also a voice, it's a tone that most people can hear and talk and speak and so forth. It's very close to that. So down here, that's a real low note, and bass singers can sing those notes, and here, that's a tenor note, middle of the octave or the voice range, and up here, there's an A. It hardly sounds, but anyway, that's for sopranos, like they sing. All right. So they started out in the middle so that it would be average for everybody, I suppose. Now, why do they call it A? Let's see. We're gonna go here. Why do they call it A? That's because that's where piano tuners begin when they go to tune. And that's why, and so, because here's C. Everybody plays in C when they play by ear. And C is the only key that doesn't have any sharps and flats. Like, for instance, all right. Now, if we go to D, see, D has a couple of sharps in it. You have to go. That's F sharp. You don't need to know that, and C sharp. So, but C doesn't have any sharps and flats. Don't ask me about sharps and flats. I don't have time to explain it, and I don't really understand it myself. Okay, so that's an octave. And so in order to have an octave, we have 8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes, okay? And so that's why they call it an octave, and that's how our system is designed. Now you say, well, why didn't they make this, since there's no sharps and flats, why didn't they make this A? Because A is where the piano tuners begin. And so we've got A, B, C. And here's C. This is what we play. We play everything in C on this, when I'm playing by ear, because not near as many sharps and flats you got to mess with. So that's why that's A, is because that's what is in the middle of the range, and it's also what piano tuners use. Like, for instance, if you go here, if you do both of these, if you're really a good piano tuner, you can tell if this one is actually half as much as this one, because you get that wah, 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 And so, okay, enough on that. So that's what an octave is. And a note is basically part of the octave divided by 8. Okay? So that's what our notes are. Now, so we got octaves, notes. Now we need to know what a chord is. And that's spelled C-H-O-R-D. It's not chord like tying somebody up with a rope, okay? It's C-H-O-R-D. A chord is basically 2 notes. Minimum of 2 notes. It's like, for instance, that's a chord. Okay, this is that would be a minor key, but we won't talk about that yet. Anyway, so that's a chord, and usually we have 3 notes in a chord. Okay, that's the C chord, C, E, and G. All right, that's a chord. Now, if we're going to play, like for instance, if we want to go up to another key, then every finger goes to the next key up. Okay, so this one goes here, this one goes here, and this one goes here. Okay, and so that's the C sharp chord. And then if we move up to the next chord, then we move every finger up 1 step. Okay, and then we go to the next one, we move every finger up 1 step. Okay, so that's the chord system. And when I'm teaching you how to play the piano, I'm just going to teach it in C, and you'll be able to hear whether you got a mistake or not. So there's a chord. Now then, I think you can see down here. Ooh, that's way down there, isn't it? I'm going to have to move my camera. Hang on a second here. We got to move the camera. Let's see. Wait a minute. Got it. Yeah, no, this will work. Okay, what we'll do is, in the last, in lesson 1, I said, let's learn jingle bells, right? Okay, that's pretty easy, but I'm gonna have to play it up here so you can see the chords down here. Okay, now, when you learn to play by ear, what you're going to do is you're going to have to, listen, it's not easy. I'll give you a little illustration real quick here. When I used to teach at a computer school, and I had to teach, one of the courses I taught was typing, okay? This was like a career class, or career school, and I had to teach typing. And of course, in that back then, everybody wasn't texting like they are now. They were doing notes on a typewriter, and so or keys on a typewriter. You get music notes and typewriter keys mixed up. I get a lot of things mixed up. Anyway, point is, the students would say, how do I get my fingers to go there? I'm having so much trouble. So I gave them an example. I said, did you drive to school this morning? Yes. Every time you came to a stoplight, did you have to look down and find the brake? No. And the reason is because when you first got in the car, the very first time you stepped in, you looked down and you found where the gas pedal was and where the brake was. And but after, it didn't take very long until you didn't have to look down there anymore. And that's the same way it is with typing on a keyboard. Once you get it down, once you get started learning, then your brain and your body work together, and pretty soon you don't have to look at the keys anymore. Same thing is kind of true with the piano. If it seems like this is impossible, give your body and your mind time and practice. And don't get discouraged, because we're doing this for fun, and I hope you're doing it for fun. All right, so now when we do Jingle Bells, all right, you have to kind of listen now. First of all, before you start with a song, like I said, make sure you learn this one up. So, like if you don't start it out on C with a C chord, you find a C chord. Anytime you want to start with a song, find the C chord, and then find the note that goes, that first note that would go. It may not be in these three notes, but the songs I'm going to use will always be there for you. So Jingle Bells, you wouldn't start Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells, Jingle. That wouldn't work. So then you try this one. So, or you could start up here. And see, it wouldn't work. So you find when you know the chord, start with a C chord, and see if you can find the note that the song starts with. All right, that's the first thing. So we got Jingle Bells. So now we're going to use a C chord here. All right. So now we can play the song. Only now, I'm going to have to teach you another chord, aren't I? Okay, so this is C chord. And they call, we go 1, 2, 3, 4. When we start a chord, if we do that, see we come up? Okay, that's the 4 chord in the key of C. All right, this is the 1 chord, and that would be 2, and that would be 3, and that would be 4. Okay, and then that's 5, and we'll get to that. So that's the 4 chord. So now, let's see, can you see that? I think you can see that. I gotta move my camera, I think. Okay, let's see how this works. Now I can hit this note, hit this one. Yeah, that's the one I want to use. All right, so we've got Jingle Bells. That's where we run into a problem. So now we have to take this, that's the note we're playing, right? So the smart thing to do is move up. Okay, so now we'll start down here with C. Jingle Bell. Now we got to go to this one, so we'll bring our bass note up to this one. Hear that? Okay, so we're going to play. Okay. What fun it is to ride. Okay, so that's our 4 chord. We're going to have to use that. I'm going to teach you a little trick now, and it'll save you a lot of time. You notice we're doing an F, an A, and a C. Okay, instead of jumping all over the piano like that, when you want to play that one, stay where you are with the little finger on C, and remember it used an F and an A. We just put that down there. So see that? That's a lot easier than going from here to here. So as you're learning, train yourself just to move these two up, and you're hitting the exact same notes. And so it makes, they're not the exact same, but they're the same chord. Okay, so jingle bell, jingle bell, oh what fun. So we've learned the 1 chord, which is in C, and the 4 chord. Only we're going to always, you don't have to do it your way, you can do it your way, but that's the easy way. So there's the 1 chord, and there's the 4 chord. Now let's play again here. Oh, we got a problem there. See, that note is not in any of the chord. So now what are we going to do? Okay, let me show you the basics. Here we go again. Now we're going to move all the way up here, just for fun. See, there's the problem. But watch this. Okay, we're going to go. Now we're going to go to the 5 chord. Okay, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I got to start over. Here we go. Now we go. Notice I went from this chord to this chord. Now you've learned that this is the 1 chord, that's the 2 chord, that's the 3 chord, that's the 4 chord. This in the key of C is the 5 chord, okay? And so the 5 chord has G, B, and D in it. And we need to use that. So we go jingle bells, jingle bell. And now we're just going to do it simple. What fun it is. 1. Oh, remember? It's got G, B, and D. So instead of jumping around, we got to hit G, B, and D. There's our G, there's our B, and there's our D. We don't have to jump clear up here. We can just sit here. Okay, so what you've learned is you've learned the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord, but you've learned how to cheat. Okay, my piano teacher taught me how to cheat. So let's do it again. See there? Okay, so there's those 3 chords. What I want you to do between now and the next lesson is make sure that you can learn to play the song up here, starting with E. And then cheat and do the 4th chord, which is, by the way, is also called the F chord because the bass note is F, okay? So, okay, so and the 5 chord is called the G chord. So that is what we have learned today, and what I need you to do between now and the next lesson, because I'm going to show you some more chords and some more little tricks, is get that down, that basic sound. I'm going to teach you another chord that goes with this song. Also, I want you to learn another song, okay? I try to use songs that everybody's heard. And the song that I'd like you to learn next is Amazing Grace. So let me... Okay, so start here. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Okay? See, you can play it now. You can play it now. I'm going to make mistakes. I've made a lot in my life, I tell you. So learn Amazing Grace. You can learn it, okay, between now and the next lesson, and you can use those chords that I taught you with Amazing Grace. But there are some other chords that go in Amazing Grace that we'll look at, okay? So that completes the lesson, but like I said, I don't like to talk at the beginning. I go to a YouTube channel to learn something. I want to learn it. I don't want to hear about the guy's background and whether or not he's, this and that and the other thing. But I would like to share with you some of the things, and so you'll understand my surroundings here and stuff like that. Let me see. It was about 6.5 years ago, my family, me and my wife, our kids are grown. We moved from Washington State down to Arizona, and we're about 40 miles south of Phoenix. And the reason we did is because we were watching their son, which is our grandson, and while they both worked. And so we moved down here so we could, and besides that, we love them all. So we moved down here, and we lived in an HOA in town. And then after a couple of years, my son said, why don't you guys get yourself a fifth wheel trailer, sell your house, and move on to our property, because he was kind of concerned because, we're getting close to 80 and so forth at the time. So that's what we did. And then while we were living in the fifth wheel trailer, he built an addition to his shop, which is a big shop he's got. And that's where I'm sitting, is in the little addition that he built, which has all the living bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, and a living area. And I will show you around the living area one of these times, because I'm wasting your time right now. So anyway, that's my situation, and I'll have more information for you. And if you want to learn more about me, go to Old Mr. Kent, and it's spelled MrKent, one word. Old Mr. Kent. I'll put a link to the channel, if I can remember, at the end, and you'll learn a lot more about me there. All right, so I want to thank you for watching this video, and practice makes perfect, and God bless.